we've become a society now where we judge a book by its cover. And it's the same principle when it comes to games. We judge a game by its cover or from what someone says, and that is gospel. And that's bullshit. I'm sorry, it's absolute bullshit. If you can't kind of get your head out of like a notion that, okay, it has to be this because it has to be this bad because it's happened before. It's not always the case. I know EA has got a really bad run of doing this, and everyone is slating Anthem before it's come out. A lot of people haven't even played Anthem, and I feel that you've got to give the game a chance first. What other people are saying, I know, we're influenced by the company sometimes, but you have to give it a go to actually appreciate and decide then, rather than actually say before you do it. I've done it, and I've done it loads of times, and I still do it now. And I shouldn't. I do it with films as well as games. And I've come to a point now where I have to step back and I think, right, well, I can't say shit about that game until I've played it. And when I've played it, then I can judge for myself what I think. Because if it's shit, then I won't bother playing it. You know what I mean? After a couple of hours or whatever. But you have to give it a couple of hours first. I think just to try and get past that kind of like that little, oh, I don't know, it's that niggle, isn't it? You know, The Witcher 3 it took me 4 hours before I actually appreciated that game. 200 hours, 200 odd hours later, and I'm still playing The Witcher 3. I still haven't scraped the surface. I finished it, but I haven't, you know what I mean? There's shitloads to do to it. You have to give a game its due, and I think a lot of times we don't do that. We just kind of kill it before it starts. And it's happening now with a lot of the games, Anthem and the Division 2. I feel a lot of people are on the cusp of that. They're saying it's the same. Yes, it's going to be the same. It's the same formula that worked before. It worked well. People who loved it, the millions who loved it, are going to want to stay with that. It's just in a nice new environment. Far Cry, everyone's... I got to be honest too, I was hyped for Far Cry, for Far Cry 5, I was going to say, and Far Cry New Dawn. But what I've seen so far is turned me the other way now. I want to play it. I am going to buy it. I will play the game. But I've still got to be able to try it to kind of appreciate it. Same as Far Cry Primal, which is playing behind me now. You know, everyone hated that game. But when you get to the basis of it, it's a fantastic game. We get this idea in our heads that because it's made by a certain publisher, it has to be amazing. Like Rockstar, for instance. Naughty Dog, and Naughty Dog 90% of the time do give you something that's going to be amazing. Only because I'm griping with Uncharted 4. I'm still a bit burned with Uncharted 4. After 2 and 3 were mind-blowing. And everyone's going to be like the same thing. Were you fucking crazy? Yeah, maybe. But Red Dead Redemption 2 was the same. I want... I paid 90 quid for that game. And it was shit. Absolutely shit. I'm sorry, it could have been a more linear experience. And it was just a replica of the first game, which I know is contradictory of myself because the Division and the Division 2 are going to be quite similar, but they were created for next gen. There was a factor that was working. We didn't have to wait too long for the Division 2, which has been like 3 years. We did 8 years for Red Dead Redemption 2. 8 years is a long time. So, someone telling me in my ear that shouldn't swear. So I just think we need to kind of give games a chance without judging too much. And the people who do comment on games and say they don't like it, people are quick to jump to that conclusion then that person hasn't played that game. Well, if you say you don't like a game, then in my mind you must have played that game. You know what I mean? If you haven't played the game, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Don't make a comment on it. So we need to just appreciate what the developers are trying to do sometimes. Sometimes it goes overkill, and sometimes it doesn't. The thing with Far Cry Primal as well, that people said there was no DLC, and a lot of people were miffed, and a lot of people praised it. What do you want from fucking games? Like, do you want DLC or don't you want DLC? What the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? I think the era of season passes are dead. There's a video I'm going to do as well. You're more than welcome to follow along and watch that as well. But I just think that these year one pass things now that's integrated into most games, especially Ubisoft. Ubisoft is terrible for doing this year one, year two shit. And Destiny started doing it with the annual year pass thing. And I'm not sure if COD are doing it, but they probably will be doing it soon. And I just think there's so much this getting it's a fucked up industry at the moment. It's a real unknowing. I think it's I think there's something going on that's not being said because all the shit that's happening. I know it's $1 billion industry, but when people make money, they like to make more money, and even if they falter in a little bit, it's seen as it's not achieved anything. It's seen as quite harsh, and I just think we can get past that point of this persona that every game that's released is evil, and we've got to stop praising the ones that, I don't know, that doesn't need to be praised. You know what I mean? They don't deserve sometimes. There's the hidden factors that these companies do. You think that they're not, but they are sneakily putting in shit that you don't need it. And I'm talking about the big companies. You know what I mean? That you think are amazing and your friends. You know, like fucking friends. So I don't know. It's a bit of a spitball of shit, really. So enjoy.